Late November 2025 with the Lovelocks of Sunninghill. Rough cut photo trails and video clips. I'll probably start with a quick summary, if you call it that, of some of the points to give you a flavour, and then run into the standard introduction. Here are a few photos given a flavour of the contents of the late November video. Yes, usual places in the village, including the flame kebab and eating there, and snaps from back home, including the garden, and yes, Bentley from opposite, one of their guard cats, and La Sorrentina, arancini, and a glass of wine, and Juba. And in fact, you'll see a video from Juba very soon. There's Toady, our guard cat. Yeah, in the Sorrentino again. There's Noah in the Sorrentino. Yes, the arancini again. My favourite dish. A few other snaps around the village. And what we running into was the video from Juba. And I was amazed how realistic it was. Juba sent me this video clip of what he'd shot a day or two earlier with me having a limoncello and then getting up facing him. Allegedly it could be based on AI, but I thought, no, what could you do with it? Well, there's it zoomed out a bit, but I really prefer it in landscape mode. So I sent Juba a video clip there so that he might use that, and in which case the result would be more suitable to go broadcast on TV. And there's Adriano in the background. Yes, followed by Ella. That'll have to do. There's a car gone past. So here's the standard introduction. And I warn you, it will be rough cut. So, this is where we live, at 22 Armitage Court in Sunninghill. Warning signs about fierce guard cats. You'll certainly see them on the photo trails. You might even get a glimpse on the video. And this is the spot known as Robin's Corner, where GPS was tested from the late 1980s. At this spot here, marked by this bit of garden sculpture that June got Robin for a Christmas present a few years ago. Or was it a birthday present? I can't remember. Anyhow, that's the oak tree that sprang up from an acorn. I think it was while we were here, and we moved back permanently in before 1980. Yeah. A lot more leaves to be cleared, but we've made a start, so it's better than it was before, believe it or not. Yes, accommodation for owls, which they never took up, but previous photo trails video shows the pussycats making use. Here's Snoopy's robot boat to cross the Atlantic, skippered by Snoopy the Viking, and there's a problem still to be fixed, which is well documented, but this morning I switched it on again and it is running, but it won't run for very long before it stops, but that's all well documented, and been no time to work on that for years now. Anyhow, where are we? Yes, the women are out shopping, and so let's walk down the drive. Glimpse of the bicycle that I've still not taken onto the road, needs some work doing on it. This is an old project from years ago, which are the cat forts, but it causes some amusement to point them out. It's to hide the dustbins, of course. Beware, cats on patrol. So sometimes the pussy cats, because there's also Bentley from across the road, hang out here, but the repair is needed on these cat forts, and of course there's also armed mice. And yes, we have warning signs, beware of a mouse, but it should be mice because there's quite a few of them. Yes, lots of it disrepair, but nothing compared with all the other work that he's doing. So there's the camper that June decided to get. I may as well point out the battle damage on it, which added value from my point of view. Battle damage. June said Robin did it. Robin said the wall did it, but the wall is okay. Yeah, you can just about read it. I think I need to improve that a bit. Yeah, so yeah, cameras everywhere. That one picks up and sends little messages. There's someone at your front door, or something similar. There's the peanut feeder. Foxes come all the way through the year, and sometimes they share the food with, which is the peanuts, with hedgehogs and deer, and it depends on the time of the year. So yes, there's the flatulent fairy, and it may go up a tree this year. Got no lack of trees, don't know yet. So dare I go into the house yet? I must emphasise that what I say, reading out these signs, are jokes, because people will say, you daren't say that. So early on it says, yeah, it's cobwebs here, look. It says, closed circuit TV, hidden TV cameras inside and outside the house. Sound and video is monitored in local houses and elsewhere. There's another one. No trespassing. Violators will be shot. Survivors will be shot again. Yes, there's one camera there. I often ask for people to smile and wave to it. And yes, I've pointed out the flatulent fairy before. Now, this probably here is the most important sign, because it's not just cameras. But first I'll point out, that's my study through there. And it says, do not disturb. I am disturbed enough already. But this sign is by far the most important, to just mean people take heed when coming onto the property. Home of mad ex-nature scientist Robin Lovelock, beware of web cameras and water squirters loaded with water, paint, acid, DNA tracer or nerve agent. Robin would not be mad enough to test these, or would he? Just a joke, of course. Right, I think it's safe to go into the house. So, with any luck, the guard cat Toady is up to mischief somewhere else. Otherwise, he likes to play fight. So, yes, that's the untidy games room. And we've made a start, even though you wouldn't realise it, but it appears on the photo trails, in starting to clear this junk up so it can be used more. Well, June would like to better use it as a dining table here, but of course it always was a games room, including a half-size snooker table under there. Lots of other things. So it's on the list. Lots of other things. That's June's, not sure what you call it, study corner, but of course everything is full of junk. Some junk can be thrown, but quite a lot of it just needs to be put in the right place. And of course Robin is often told where to stick things. So, right, pop into the lounge now, and yes, that's Robin's naughty corner, where he tends to relax, watch the closed circuit TV or have a doze. And yes, that's the cheap Lenovo PC, whatever it was, next to nothing. And what's on the screen at the moment is the tracker that June carries, and it shows that she and Samantha are at not the Martin Heron School of Dance, but they've gone to the Superstore, but that was the last position that came up. They probably only just arrived there. Yes, those alerts related to the Ring camera that you saw earlier, but there's cameras of all sorts. So this is the lounge, and we're now going out for what may be the more important part. This door's sticky, need to sort that out. So a lot of this work hasn't been done, and of course a lot of these videos are for the purpose of anybody who might be able to help with property maintenance in the very broadest sense. Now, yes, that can be trivial things. Well, trivial is probably not the right word, like mowing a lawn, but mostly they're, certainly for us, for years and probably for years to come, it's tidying up and putting things in the right place. Now, for the purpose of this introduction, I'm topping up the pond, which I've not been doing for, well, several weeks now. There's lots of little projects here, like the peeing Brussels boys, he's blocked up and he's fixing. Lots of things, very untidy. That was another one of him. And the pond maybe worked on again this winter, because winter's the time to clear all the wildlife out, including plants and fishes, in order to find leaks and fix them. Made a bit of progress, but it's still a problem. So that's the pond overflowing. We might as well have a quick glance around the edge here. Yeah, that's June's greenhouse. There is lots of junk. That's June's junk. She can decide what's to be thrown away there. Yes, sorry about the politically incorrect artwork on the water butt. That's where the pussycats come in and out. That's where it's a practical place for us to keep materials at the moment, like plastic piping, wood, and various other odds and ends. And of course, if you carry on through here, it comes out to where the dustbins are kept and the front that you see. So it's all a health and safety thing, but or risk, because it's so easy to trip over things, and hopefully we'll make things better. But there's certainly less leaves here than there were a week ago. But right, we're coming back here. Yes, another water butt. So this patch here needs tidying, but it's all a matter of doing things in the sensible priority and order. So that's the telescope that Robin made the optics for when he was a boy, still at school. No time to do anything on that, and very low priority compared with all the other things. Yes, I put that banister in, make it a bit safer for some people walking down, although these steps are not really wheelchair accessible at the moment. There's a bit of garden, there's another fort that goes round. We'll go down here next, I think. Yes, so there's the water comes off the roofs and into the top pond, and then that overflows through the stream into the second pond, just here. Yes, it's even got a little duck house there, not the ducks have taken up on it. And that overflows, and it's not doing it yet because I only turned the tap on, whatever it was, an hour or two ago, into the, well, June doesn't like it being called a third pond. It's really a reservoir for the bog garden, and that's all worked very well. Yes, that's 4 candles. Some people will remember that. And yes, more sky opened up with trees cut back. Bird feeders, you'll see lots of those. There's 5 of them down here. And yes, lovely place to sit here. Where are we? Oh yes, I think I pointed it out. Oh yes, my tatty shoes, and that's quite a nice plant container. You would have seen all this stuff. The box where we keep the bird feed, boxes of, or bags of peanuts and various other feeders and dried worms there. So the routine every morning, while I'm fit to do it, is to top up the bird feeders. Yeah, so I've got no lack of space to put the leaves or other wooden twigs type junk. There's a lot of leaves that were put there a few days ago. They actually had a rare hour of work by Samantha, June and Robin, and there's junk that needs tidying up. There's some important things like ladders tucked away. Snapshot of the garden, a bit more than a snapshot, isn't it? Oh yes, the shed. So a recent thing we used was the leaf blower, call it that. That's a chainsaw. A few other important tools there, and a place to keep them. Don't mess around with locking it. You'd have to be a complete idiot to come onto the property with mischievous intentions, but there are idiots around, of course. So, where June hangs the washing. And of course, the important thing is, where can we keep things? Lots of leaves here, so no lack of work to be done on that. Right, lawn hasn't been mowed for months. If we were at the stage of mowing the lawn, there's a lawnmower, a fly mow that's electric. There's a strimmer. So, and a few other garden tools. So where are we going to get the electric? Well, we come round towards the workshop area, past the summer house that Robin calls his laboratory, and there we go. Extension lead and power to plug in. And while we're here, lots of space for putting tools in the workshop area, including a vise, all solar powered and things, but arrangement can be done. Some stuff's just been thrown down there to tidy things and put the same things in the same places. So for example, hammers, files, clamps, spanners, etc. So it makes it easier for anybody to find things. Yeah, no lack of saws there. And then of course occasionally one will say, we've got plenty of those, like saws, let's throw some away, but throw away the ones that are not blunt, or rather throw away the ones that are blunt. Right, coming back, there's the bug palace, there's the sundial. Yes, all stuff comes under the heading of garden maintenance. And by garden maintenance, it's a very broad subject. It comes to all the contents. You could even argue people as well, where maintenance relates to their health. And I think that's pretty well it. So, most of you would have switched off by now, so this is the point where we can go into the photo trails, long photo trails. So I warn you, they will be long photo trails. Sunday the 23rd of November 2025. Chose that photo. Yeah, temperature coming up to, what's that, 7 degrees centigrade? Relatively mild. Now the photo's in the order shot, and usual routine, going out, getting a glimpse of the garden, including, yes, that photo. And on that day, there's my shadow. That should have been rotated. That was the smartphone trying to be too smart, I think. And yeah, down the garden in order to top up the 5 bird feeders and also get a glimpse of what it was all like. So that's empty.
But of course went into the box. That's now where we keep the bird feed, including peanuts and dried worms and things. So lots of leaves everywhere. Lovely blue sky. Making my way where next? It looks like I'm making my way back onto the patio. Yes, there's me reflected. Load of tidying up needed, and that's the processing for the day before the Saturday. And of course all that material was put together in the oh, something went wrong there, not sure what it was. There's Toady having lunch probably rather than breakfast. Yes, 12:15. And of course the main activity that day was the creating the next photo trail video to go onto YouTube, and starting that off. And it wasn't until the next day, which is when I'm recording this, that it was actually done. So it looks like I'm off out to the village. Yes, past the robot boat, changed that tie wire so it didn't obstruct the view of the boat. It had shifted down into the village. Guess where I might be going? I reckon I'll probably be going into the Blend and Brew. Yes, Blend and Brew for lunch. Here's Abhishek at the back. And yes, nice lunch there. So where next? Perhaps across into the Comrades Club? Yes, enjoying my time there. Got to be careful if people are calling the pictures. I know Adriano came over as well, so since he's always taking pictures of me, I did the same of him. Anyhow, hopefully nobody will have any problems with that. Enter the Flame, it's obviously later in the day now. You can tell by how dark it is. There's the pictures on the wall. There's my usual cheeseburger. Into the Comrades Club again. Relaxing there. And then on my way home. And yeah, 22 Armitage Court. Into the house. June's watching. Oh, that's tennis. Davis Cup from Bologna, Italy, I think, if I call that. Yes, that's processing of the mid-November. That takes so many hours. So while that processing's going on, you do whatever else you can do, including relaxing. Ah, looks like she's got Strictly Come Dancing on the television now. It looks like time for bed and the end of the photo trail. Monday the 24th of November 2025. Yes, that picture of the primroses was probably the least boring photo of those shot. So now into the photos in the order shot. Yes, I fired up that old Windows XP laptop and it worked. That was, I think, forced on me by trying to do things on a platform that wasn't busy doing things. And yes, I was able to do things on it, or at least I could check that. Oh yes, closed circuit TV shows the post lady arriving and the women going off for whatever it was. I think it was shopping first of all in Bracknell, probably for Christmas presents, and then also, yes, I checked the trackers, and then also the big shop at Martin's Heron. So yeah, the spot tracker also worked, showed where they were. And yes, that's going on in parallel, processing the video for the previous day. Yes, that's the white SOS tracker. That updates much more frequently and shows them that they've gone to Martin's Heron for the big shop at Tesco. Now I'm looking at the spot tracker, and yes, it shows exactly where the car was parked, because that tracker was left on the car rather than carried around on the key rings. And yes, So meanwhile, temperature, yeah, what's that? Nudging 5 degrees. Not too bad. There's that picture of the primroses near the top pond. Usual routine, going down the end, checking out everything, but most important was topping up the 5 bird feeders. But of course it's a record of what it was like on that day. Lots of leaves, no real change for quite a few days now. So there's an empty bird feeder. That's the box where the bird feed is kept. Mixture of peanuts and other things. So topped all the 5 bird feeders up. And that's the 4 candles. One of those projects in the garden. And yes, almost the same. And what else? Yes, that's the second pond. Nothing really changed there for, well, weeks really. And yeah, so after all those leaves are cleared up, whatever that is, it should be quite pleasant down there. And going round to June's greenhouse and looking round the side briefly. Making my way back to the patio area. There's me reflected in the patio window. Patio door, I think that is. Yes. Just an item in memory, and anybody interested in what things are like on that day. Oh yes, that duck. I thought, yeah, there's a better place for it. Could go on display near Alex's robot boat. Sailing saucer boat. Yeah, so gradually. Oh yes, that snooker cue. That's been in the lounge for ages. I thought, can I put it where it belongs in that cupboard? No, having all sorts of things falling down. Very difficult to get round past all the junk single-handed. And that's the cupboard I thought would be free, and June had made a sensible use for it. That used to have the boiler in, and she's kept all the kitchen junk in there. So, right, so I'm off somewhere. I'm guessing it's probably to have lunch. Yeah, lots of leaves everywhere. There's the robot boat. And so I'm off into the village. Take a few photos on the route. And looking around, past the Comrades Club. Yes, that car. How many times has that happened? But he's got cameras. Okay, into the blend and brew. Oh yes, bit of artwork on the misted up windows. And lovely lunch. Oh, and then a call from Lightwater Surgery. Lovely conversation, very useful from Nikki. I've been waiting for that, and she sent a text. I hid some of the details there, and because practically all of it was made public, tucked away on the relevant page. In fact, it's the DVLA Funny Farm page. Right, into the Comrades Club. Not for very long, or at least I didn't take many photos there. And back home. You can see what the weather's like also by the photos, can't you? Yeah, lots of leaves. Definitely an outstanding job. But compared with jobs like tidying up inside the house, it's a relatively easy job, just a case of somebody with the effort to do it. Oh yeah, what did that mean? Oh, unpackaged delivery. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Perhaps it was trying to be too. Oh, it might have been. Yes, Samantha carrying the dustbins. It thought, oh, that's a package. Trying to be too clever, I think. Anyhow, that was the update I was speaking about earlier to the TVLA Funny Farm page. So, yeah, pointing out the things. There's Toadie decided he'd have lunch as well. In June's rustling up. It's getting late in the evening now, I would imagine. At least it's got dark. Listening to the Radio 4 news. June's watching some historical drama. Looks like I'm off to the village again. Almost certainly to eat somewhere. And of course, given that it's a Monday, I suspect I'll be going into down the end of the village, but I think I probably popped into the one stop to get myself some cash. Quite a lot of people prefer cash rather than credit card. And into the Rajvuj, that's in their window. And yes, onion barges, very reasonable price. Look at that, £8.54. Perfectly good meal. And you got the free sweets afterwards. Past Lovelocks, I love that bit of sculpture. Past the Jade, and yeah, there's the broken fence again. Be interesting, I have to touch base with them who did it. There can be quite interesting people do things like that. And right, in the Commerce Club, didn't take many pictures by the look of it. And yeah, on my way home now. Yes, it's a 22 Armitage Court. Down the drive. Of course, as soon as I get near the front door, it'll be saying, "Is there somebody at your front door?" Or something similar. There's Toadie greeting me. June watching something on the television. Oh, Samantha. And coming up to 9 o'clock in the evening. Yes, checking the tracker. Yes, anybody could have seen where Robin was and probably what he was doing by the time he spent there. And back home. See, I got home okay. And just here. And that's me. I decided I'd top up the peanuts in the peanut feeder. And the easy way was look at myself on the closed circuit TV for that procedure, topping it up, and that's it. So, time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Tuesday the 25th of November 2025. Yes, that's photos. Shows comrades have now got a Christmas tree outside. Apparently it's 90 years old, slow growing variety from Italy. And there's Bentley. We're now into the photos in the older shot. Yeah, somebody's written that on the ice on the car because it's obviously well below freezing overnight. And yeah, booking the Cricketers for Thursday for pub lunch with grumpy old men. Temperature coming up over 2 degrees, so it's warmed up a bit since the overnight frost. Usual routine down the garden to top up the bird feeders and just get a record of what it was like on that day. Yeah, there's the empty bird feeder and there it's full up. And yeah, not much different to previous days. Lots of leaves everywhere. On the list of things to be done, but other things higher priority. Yeah, back into the patio area, back into the lounge, and what's going on next? Oh, it's in the morning, isn't it? 20 to 11 in the morning? Yes. 20 to 11, and that looks like probably the women back from tennis, which is exactly the time we expected, and I'd written in the diary. So they're coming in on the closed circuit TV and unpacking their stuff, changing shoes, making note of things as usual. There's Bentley, decided to come over, and he spent quite a bit of time in the house again. Yes. Hello, Bentley. And that was Toadie, I think. And a little bit more work related to being able to put up things that are broken, the containers, in the untidy games room like that. So that is back in position, but the trouble is that was the wrong type of bit, so I had to use an ordinary screwdriver still messing about there, but anyhow, I ended up in position. So we've got somewhere to put things like the meters and other bits and pieces. We're cluttering the table and put things back in the right place. So the drill goes back in the workshop. Yes, put things in the right place. And yeah, June's also helping putting things, and of course Samantha came down as well and she helped. So even if just making a little bit of time on things like that, you make a bit of progress. So that video's processed, put a voice commentary on, as I am for the next day, and back things up onto the removable drives, and that's in the untidy study, but good enough. 12 midday. Right now Samantha's doing some vacuum cleaning, and in fact that made sense because there were leaves in the corner, and I thought, how did they get there? And June said, oh, it's from one of her plants, but the plant has been put away or whatever now. So we're making progress. Yeah, there's those leaves, or some of the remaining ones, because she had removed quite a few. And yeah, a combination of things. So it's good working on that. And there's an example of one of June's plants, not the one that was giving the trouble. Oh yeah, the grapes coming along nicely. And that looks like a delivery. Yes, anybody who comes to the door, you can expect your pictures to become public. There's June. Oh yes, she said that is for us. Thank you. And good way how efficiently you work. You're actually running on to the next job. Right, so what's next? Well, it looks like they're wrestling up probably lunch by then. And we're deciding where can we put things. June said there's some old wood, so I thought, right, the right place for that is from the scraps of wood, that's plywood of course, around the side of the house. So with all these things, you say, if I'm looking for something, I know where to look. And wasn't sure about that leg, but for the moment I put it on the floor of the workshop where similar things have been put. And of course put the cardboard in the right place. And now looking at water pumps things. And so made a label on that, battery, water pumps, etc. And find those. Most of this stuff was all on that table, so it's got its own box there labelled. Ooh, he says, what's that? Oh, she says, yes, why not put that down the end of the garden? And yes, found these little mice. Put those in the right place for the moment. And there's Toadie decided to come along and see what was going on. Oh yeah, it was terribly hard work, wasn't it? Oh yes, I got a message from Lightwater Surgery. Well, that was that lovely Nikki, but their systems seem to have repeated the message that had been sent and responded to and everything else. So anyhow, that's all documented. So looks like I'm off down to the village, and since it's the middle of the day, it's probably to have a late lunch. Yes, there's the broken fence on the corner of the back where the Bansals live. Yeah, there's the Tesco Express, and apparently Samantha has applied for a job there. And yeah, in the blend and brew, a little bit of artwork done on the window there. Lovely food, of course. And no, I don't get any cut for mentioning nice things about the blend and brew. Then into the Comrades Club. I took that picture because it showed it empty. There's a few people in, of course. But oh yes, and the guys are putting up the Christmas tree, and I asked about it, and I knew all about it. And the key thing is, they said it's 90 years old, and it comes from Italy. And oh, there's a crescent moon. And apparently, I was able to look it up and found it was north of where was it? It was in Tuscany, anyhow. Anyhow, back in the blend and brew now for coffee. This is later in the day, before they close though. And yeah, there's the Christmas tree lit up. They turned the lights on. Yeah, in the comrades again. And I spent a lot of time in there. Several visits during the day. Yes. And in fact, while I was enjoying my arancini there, I think it was Juba sent me a video, which I might put at the end, an AI process video. But yes, there's Juba. That was much later in the day. And so I go into the Comrades Club again and spent my time. One of the guys I chatted to, I remember, was Alan Dodd. That was interesting chat. And oh yes, and Adriana came over to watch Chelsea, and they won, of course. Right, looks like I'm on my way home. A bit later than usual, and yes, caught by the ring cameras. And there's Toadie to greet me. Hello, Toadie. Time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Juba sent me this video clip of what he'd shot a day or two earlier with me having a limoncello and then getting up facing him. Allegedly it could be based on AI, but I thought, no, what could you do with it? Well, there's it zoomed out a bit, but I really prefer it in landscape mode. So I sent Juba a video clip there so that he might use that, and in which case the result would be more suitable to go broadcast on TV. And there's Adriano in the background. Yes, followed by Ella. That'll have to do. Wednesday the 26th of November 2025. Yeah, I chose that photo of Noah in the La Sorrentina. That was near the end of the day. Right, photos in the order shot. Lovely blue sky. And yeah, somebody's written something on the... We obviously had a frost that night. And a few snaps around the garden. At the front, there's a record of what it was like. Oh, I might as well include that as well. Wouldn't want that to be removed. That picture, he rotated it. Look at that, that's about 3 degrees, so it's got above 0 by then. Yeah, the usual routine in the games room, and processing of the video from the day before. And out into the garden, yeah, 20 past 11. Temperature, yeah, that thermometer says the same, 3 degrees. That got rotated accidentally by the camera, I suppose. Lovely blue skies, and looking up at those branches, because Kevin next door said they'd cut some down, but I suppose if I compare it with earlier photographs I might say which ones. But of course there's hardly any leaves up there now, so the sun gets down to that seating. Lovely blue sky. So that's probably why I'm taking lots of pictures looking up there. And yes, there's my little project. Things growing out of my shoes. And just a few more there. And I probably went through the usual routine of topping up the 5 bird feeders down there. Working back up the garden. Yes, same old boring routine, isn't it? Into the lounge. Yeah, June's doing something there. Oh yes, that was that AI video, and that Juba had sent me. Oh, I decided to have a snack rather than a lunch down in the village, and I researched the guy who was behind. Oh, really big business, not just the AI software, but the other companies, all based near Beijing. There's Toadie took the opportunity when he was prowling around to so yeah, that one went off by accident. So into the village and into the Comrades Club, and enjoyable time there, but didn't take many photos. At the end of the day, you can't be too careful. Right, into La Sorrentina. Yes, a glass of Pinot Grigio. And that's the photo of Noah. There's my 3 arancini and cut up to be eaten. Back into the Comrades Club. But I wasn't in there very long. And on my way home, and back home at 22 Armitage Court, and it's also a test of the camera. June's watching wildlife, I think that was. Yes, coming up to 20. Yeah, the tracker all works as it should, and yes, that's the one I wear. Anybody can see where Robin is. And very interesting that Robin Lovelocks Sunninghill Systems comes up sometimes and not others. I'm not sure why. Oh, that was AOL sent an email to say, oh, they were changing the ownership, but I quickly found out who it was. And interesting. Anyhow, time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail.
Thursday, the 27th of November 2025. Well, the main activity, I suppose, going on was June, Samantha and Bal Bansal took a trip shopping down to Portsmouth. And yes, I touched base with June once or twice to check that everything was okay, but more curious whether the tracker showed where they were. So we're now into the photos in the order shot, and yeah, lots of things going on in parallel. Main thing was checking the temperature, yeah, just above 10, quite mild really, and going down the garden, see if there's anything different. Usual routine, which is I'll be topping up the bird feeders. Leaves everywhere, hopefully those will get cleared sooner or later, as soon as we have the time. That bird feeder there, topped up, all 5 of them. So not much change for weeks now. Making my way back and into the patio area. Yeah, a bit untidy there, but into the lounge, and processing going on for the day before's video. And 20 to 12. Yeah, so I can see them walking around, and thought, sometime they'll probably have a lunch somewhere. Touch base with June, and yes, of course, as we get up close to midday, excuse me, then I'll be having pub lunch with my grumpy old friends. So it's coming up to midday, and this week Richard is providing the transport, Richard and Faye. So it's up to their house, long walk that, at least 100 yards, in their new vehicle, and along to where we're going to eat, which was the Cricketers Beef Eater, and near Bagshot Park. So just a few snaps. Terry's arrived as well, and yeah, just what we ate. Several of us curry, and yeah, just there. Very pleasant, nice conversation, of course. Yeah, not sure who's having the Christmas presents. And on our way back now, over the border into Berkshire, past the Beresstead, into Armitage Court.
Yes, Richard pointed that out. A fox had picked up some toy and brought it. He said, do I want it? No, we've got enough junk, thank you. So I pop in to check things like emails and other things. Only takes a few minutes. And yeah, so that's one of the things I checked where the women were. And check the tracker, yes. Anybody could see where Robin was. Yeah, time spent at the cricketers and back home. And then I'm going to go across the road. So that's where I am, just here. And I'm going to cross the road to Richard. Oh yes, that came in. That was fascinating. Yes, another one of those PCSO meetings. It sounded like a pub crawl, but didn't say what pub it started in. I'm sure that'd be very popular since drink apparently was provided. I'll find out about that in slower time. Right, so what else? Oh yes, so June has got back. Yes, in fact, that was the time I was leaving the coffee. Richard and Faith, she arrived back with Samantha after dropping Bal off. And yeah, the tracker shows that as well. That's June's YSS tracker. Position wasn't exactly the right spot, so I took it out for a few minutes onto Robin's corner. And sure enough, it updated to exactly that correct position. So take it back and yes, there we go. And of course the ring camera catches me coming through, well, both going out and coming back in the front door. That's all working. And what's next? Oh yeah, just check their track, the history of it. You can see exactly where they walked and drove. Bit of scatter, of course. June's watching an interesting thing about art like Constable and Turner. But where am I off to? It has to be the village, doesn't it? Since it's in the evening, must be somewhere to eat. Looks like yes, La Sorrentina. Yes, Arancini. Yes, there's Adriano in the background. There it is. And yeah, chop up. And Juba joined me as well. So then over to the Comrades Club, spend a bit of time there, but no, nobody joined me, so back home. No lack of things to get on with there. So yeah, checking everything out, of course. Coming up to 10 o'clock, and there we go, there's the track of me coming home. And oh yes, Toadie's prowling around and looking for affection, I think. Hello, Toadie. That's the end of the photo trail. Friday the 28th of November 2025. Yes, decided to use these two photos taken of looking either side on the railway. Anyhow, here's the photos in the order shot, coming up to 10 degrees centigrade. If I got a funny voice, it's because I got a stinking cold still, but it's easing off, I think. Yes, usual routines, getting a record of what the garden's like. Now, at that time, there's lots of leaves there, but there are a few less later, because you see, we actually did a bit of work. Yes. Top up the bird feeders, yeah. They don't seem to have eaten very much. The stuff that had gone was the peanuts and the dried worms. But anyhow, I topped them up anyhow. Yeah, that's the popular food. Looking up, so you've got a record of lovely blue sky, but the fewer things obstructing the sun. Yes, so
what's going to happen next. You got your record there, and coming in, processing of the video for the day before. All boring stuff, isn't it? Yeah, hard work, walking all the way down the end of the garden and all the way back again. Yes, now they're getting ready to do a bit of work, and it was great. Managed to, 10 degrees, still quite pleasant conditions, and looking for where things were, and what I was looking for was the leaf blower, and so I looked in all the obvious places for it, but couldn't find it. But June found it in the garage, so got the leaf blower out. So Robin did the work of blowing the leaves, starting from the front of the house, or rather the front of the property, and working my way round. Yes, well, it wasn't that hard work, and basically exposed a lot more garden. Still lots of leaves, but definitely getting better. Yes, and put it back in the right place, which is in the shed. And the extension cable, it hangs up on the wall at the side of the summer house, round by the workshops. Yes, relatively hard work, but only an hour, and but 3 people can do quite a lot, quite a transformation. I mean, there's still more leaves. You look, especially further down the road there, the path. I didn't go that far, but it doesn't take very long to do it. And there we go, all clear along there. Well, not all clear, but better than it was, and that's all we need to be able to do. 2:20. Oh, Toady, I saw him on the closed circuit TV, so hello Toady, what are you up to? He said. Had a doze, only for a few minutes. Looks like I'm off down to the village, probably to have lunch. And I thought, right, that's where I took the photos, going over there, pick up some Gaviscon from the chemist, and yes, into the blend and brew, enjoy the time there, the food. Although I'd already had a snack, so I only had the coffee and the cake. And into the Comrades Club, very few photos, but enjoyed the time there, particularly with young Milo and family. That looks as though much later in the day. Yeah, probably before I went back home. Yes, it is a bit clearer, but not that you'd notice it very much. So back into the house. What's that, 5:30 in the evening? Oh yes, I hadn't updated the COVID page with the graph of total deaths, so I did that. Yeah, that photo came out around the wrong way. Yes, bit of a stinking cold. And you can still hear it in my voice, but I think it's getting better. And yeah, what's going on there? Oh, something she's watching on the TV. Time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Saturday the 29th of November 2025. Yes, that photo is of Lady, Michelle's pussycat, during the family video WhatsApp chat. I guess Lady is part of the family. And into the photos in the order shot. Yes, 11:05 in the morning. Processing of the video from the day before. Going out, usual routine. Checking the temperature. Yes, nudging. Well, that was 9 degrees centigrade. Usual pictures to get a snapshot of the garden on that day. And yes, make my way down the end because I'll be topping up the bird feeders. But of course, a lot of these had been cleared from the work on the day before. Still a lot there, but certainly a lot better than it had been. And that was the bird feeder before, and that was after. Looking up, yes, quite a bit of sun reaches that spot now. Could be better. And just a matter of more branches being cut back. And back into the lounge, and the games room untidy. Made a little bit of progress. Oh, there was a arrival of Paula. Can't see her in the picture, but old friends, and she took Samantha, and they both had a walk round Savile Gardens. I decided to have an ice cream cornet. I saw that peanut feeder, not bird feeder, because it's primarily for the foxes and other wildlife like hedgehogs and deer, depending on the time of the year. So that had shifted. So put that back, then confirmed, yes, it was a fox that had shifted it, and that was the time when it got shifted. So had a bit of a doze, not for very long. Did a bit of work, updated the eSAMS page with something long overdue, which is a section which records the many guys that are on that page that are no longer with us. Anyhow, listen to the Radio 4 news. Looks like it's getting into the evening now. And, ooh, what's that, I wonder? I had another doze. You can't work too hard, you know. Oh, there's Toadie prowling around. And June's rustled up food, and I decided to eat at home for a change. And you might hear it in my voice, but my cold is practically better now. But I thought, no, I didn't really want to go down to the village in the state I was in. And, oh yes, that's the video WhatsApp chat. Or is it? No. Well, yeah, there's some messages that were there from Sally, I think, and I thought I saw something in the message which then disappeared, but not to worry. There's Toadie relaxing, because we did part of the video watch chat in the lounge so that Robin could participate, since Michelle has banned him from the family WhatsApp group, or some of the group. Time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Sunday the 30th of November 2025. I used that photo of the women going off shopping. Nothing more interesting. And of course, the main activity in the background was making the end of November video. But yes, what is that? Coming up to over 3.5 degrees centigrade. So took a usual few snaps, and of course the pond had dropped down quite a lot because I hadn't been filling it for quite a few days. And so I thought, well, perhaps I'll turn the tap on. One of the reasons was so when I shot the video at the start for the November video, the pond would be a bit higher. And so hose is running, take the hose from the second pond and put it in the top pond. A few more snaps around the garden. That one, smartphone decided to rotate the picture by the look of it. And there's the gunner going down the end, and much the same routine as usual, topping up the 5 bird feeders. And yeah, it was a bit fuzzy though. I've moved it before the picture had taken. Yeah, it's lovely blue sky. Yeah, so even more branches could be taken down and give us even more sunlight down there. use the opportunity to take a few snaps. It's also a reminder, it's not just the clearing the leaves, there's actually engineering work that could be done, like that extra water butt and all sorts of things. Anyhow, as I say, these are often an aid to my memory. So working my way back, and yeah, we're about halfway through the trail at the moment. Just a record of what it was on that day. Didn't take very long taking photos compared with the other activity that's going on in the background. Oh yes, that had shifted, foxes almost certainly. So I tied it roughly in place to see whether the next night fox would be able to move it. I can always do a tidier job later. Yes, the flatulent fairy, not flatulent fairy. Oh, there's the fox on the closed circuit TV confirming that that's what had shifted it, and processing video for the day before, and the women probably getting ready to go off shopping. Oh yes, June's unpacking stuff, and that holly plant, I think she popped round there at the front, somewhere to put it. It looked like a holly bush to me. Anyhow, they're off, and front garden on that day, far fewer leaves, but many more can be taken up, and there's bulbs to go in yet as well. So they're off for the shopping. Yes, that's the plant that she bought. Don't know what it was. And processing, oh yes, soup for a change that Samantha had rustled up for me. No time to go down to the village, and I still got the traces of my cold, but there's hardly anything now. Yes, so that was good. 3:30 in the afternoon. Temperature, well, that was 5 degrees, was it? And I noticed that was the water coming out from the pond, because it was high, and probably higher than would normally be because of the root, including leaves, blocking where it overflows into the stream. That might be a useful clue when I get round to work on the pond again, probably after Christmas. Right, going, yes, so that is still low, so it hasn't had long enough, but I thought I'd turn the tap off anyhow. So there's a repeat, and yes, after sunset by then, I should think. Yeah, getting near the end of the photo trail now. Yes, that's the end of the photo trail. I warned you they would be long photo trails. So what we're going to do now is go back through the house and run into material that was shot probably, God, goodness me, bit of oil needed on that, I think. Material that was shot a couple of years ago, and shows the same thing there, no change there. So the material was shot on the subject of global warming and the prophetic words of James Lovelock, and Robin's experiences with the DVLA, Driver Vehicle Licensing Agency. Yes, that's an improvement in the kitchen, isn't it? Been there some time. So I'm now going to run in that, yes, memories of things like memories of Sicily and Sardinia. Unusual village, that. So I'm now going to run into that earlier material, after pointing out the expensive Renoir that appears quite a lot in the pictures. Yes, I'm shooting this on the smartphone. I haven't got anything better to do it on. And I think that old material starts about here. Now, what I put on the screen, because global warming is in itself, it's something that's been on my grumpy page for years. The remarkable James Lovelock, who passed away on the 26th of July, his 103rd birthday. I'll read out what this says here. This has been on the grumpy page for years, not long after the publication of his book, Revenge of Gaia. We can't stop global warming, but we may delay it by a few decades to give us time to prepare for its effects. Vast areas of the world, including as close as continental Europe, becoming arid desert, shrinking of habitable areas of the planet to much smaller parts of the planet, closer to the poles. The Earth will then only be able to support a small fraction of its present population, and there will be a need for massive migration. Places like the UK will remain temperate a little longer, so be an attractive destination. We need all world governments to cooperate to prepare for this inevitability. Also to agree things like reduce use of fossil fuels, to give us a few more decades to prepare. And then it goes on. The above is not a quote, but how I remember what James Lovelock said in his book, The Revenge of Gaia, etc. That's been unchanged on my site for years. And right, well, the other thing I should mention, yes, retired happy and spending that kid's inheritance, is for some time now I've not been able to drive due to, well, several mistakes at the DVLA. And what I will say is that I have new evidence of what happened inside the DVLA, which I won't publish yet, because I'm still waiting for the reply to the letter which was delivered by recorded delivery to the head of the DVLA and also other people. So I'll put in at the end of this long video the video that's gone up, me talking about the DVLA, and basically in summary it says I don't want anybody to get into trouble, and that is definitely the case, and resigning is too easy. Problems need to be fixed. But quite honestly, that is a minor thing compared with all the other things that are going on in the world, not least wars, and of course what's in the background and very important is global warming. So let's run into that. Back in 2012.
Seen the launch of a transatlantic sailing attempt this morning in a model boat. Retired NATO scientist Robin Lovelock launched his Snoop Loop from Barton-on-Sea towards the Bahamas. It's already been tested over 5,000 miles on a lake in Berkshire. The model will be steered and tracked through a satellite system and by Snoopy, of course, and it should make the crossing in 6 months, if it survives, that is.
The most important thing of the lot, of course, is Snoopy the Viking, the skipper. I don't think he'd make it otherwise. We've also got another bit and piece here. This is a GPS logger that logs the position every 15 minutes.
That was back in 2012. The guy that put this material together, including live broadcast and what went up on the BBC website, is Ben Moore.
I just worried for Snoopy. Sport now and Hampshire.
Right, on to the next topic. Right. Now, I'm going to do this all in one take. All unrehearsed and unscripted, so sorry about that. What I'd like to happen, if anybody picks up on the DVLA story, is, as I say, nobody getting into trouble, and that's a genuine request, but when they find flaws in procedures where they don't cover certain things, be good if those are fixed. What I think would be useful for anybody looking at the DVLA and perhaps helping them is, first of all,
their organisation chart showing the structure. Yes, it's well known who the head of the DVLA, remarkable woman, looking at her CV, and relevant to this story is the head of the health part. But it would be very useful to see, even if names aren't attached, obviously the names can be attached where they're public already, is how many people in each branch, how many people are reporting to how many. So a simple tree would help. I suggest that first of all. Then, perhaps even more important, is how many people working for the DVLA, even if you don't identify the individuals, are salaried by the DVLA excuse me, directly, as opposed to contracted through an agency or a business. That is very important, and we've seen what's been happening in places like the NHS for years. So that comes into the equation in terms of whether money is well spent, and of course the DVLA collects a lot of money, and there are probably other things as well, but as a starting point, I'd hope anybody that responds to this, I can't afford to get overloaded, we've got other things to do, many other things to do, and we'll be taking a holiday, that'll be public, yes. I'm tracked everywhere by different things, and in fact, if anybody's paranoid about it, anybody who's tracking somebody or looking at somebody's probably seen already. But at the end of the day, there's me wittering on, which is one of my main weaknesses since I was a little child. That's why if you put things up, clearly be careful what you put up, and often it can do some good. I'm now in the kitchen, and June's rustling up some food in the microwave for Samantha, and here's Samantha, and of course there's tennis on the television, just for a change. So, oh yes, point out, holidays in we're going off to Sicily again soon, and into the hall. Yes, nice expensive paintings here. Yep, expensive little pocket camera, not expensive. And through into the lounge, and
so time to wrap up this video. Oh, looks like I can see a pussycat. Yes, that one's Toadie. What are you doing, Toadie? You checking what I've been doing? Oh dear, looks like I left the tap running. Oh, I better turn that off. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm going to rush off down the garden now because I didn't plan it this way. But there we go. Yes, I'd left the tap running. So, no, it hasn't filled this up yet. No worries. So, run back up the garden again. Try not to trip over. Yes. Hello, Toadie. So, as I was about to say, yes, it's quite difficult without a selfie stick or something. So to wrap up this video, it only remains to say, look after yourselves, stay safe, and enjoy what days we have.